Configuration drift happens constantly in cloud environments. I created an automated solution that catches security violations in real time and fixes them before they become audit findings. Let me show you how it works. The problem? So here's the compliance challenge. Your security policy says no SSH or RDP is allowed wide open to the public internet, but enforcing that manually across dozens of security groups just doesn't scale. What happens is someone opens port 22 just for a quick test, then forgets to close it. Configuration drift happens, and by the time your quarterly audit catches that, you've had weeks of exposure to the entire internet. Vulnerabilities like Bluekeep prove that open administrative ports aren't just policy violations, they're actually critical security risk. So I created this automated detection and remediation pipeline to solve this problem. So here's how the workflow works. AWS Config continuously monitors every security group that I've configured in real time, specifically looking for ports 22 and 3389 that are exposed to the internet. The moment it detects a violation, it automatically triggers a Lambda function that I wrote in Python. And what this function does is it surgically revokes only the dangerous rules while preserving any legitimate access you might have. Let's take a look at that Lambda snippet. So this is the actual remediation code here. You can see that we're only specifically targeting ports 22 and 3389. Other non-offending ports will be left intact. And at the audit layer, everything gets logged. CloudWatch is capturing the Lambda execution. CloudTrail records all the API calls. And Config maintains the full compliance timeline. So when you need that audit evidence, it is all there with timestamps. All right, let me show you how this actually is working in my environment. So I started with a fully compliant setup. All my security groups are locked down. You see that I have 2 compliant rules, 0 non-compliant, 0 non-compliant resources, 12 compliant resources. So all my security groups are locked down. But then I deliberately created violations by opening both SSH and RDP to the entire internet, simulating exactly what we're trying to prevent. So I'll go ahead and configure those now. We have HTTPS is a non-offending inbound rule on the security group, but I'll go ahead and edit that to add an offending RDP rule open to anywhere. Anybody on the planet. That's to allow all, this one is going to designate all RDP. And I will repeat the same with the SSH. This rule HTTPS is fine, but we'll add an SSH to anywhere. Anywhere on the planet can access this EC2 instance through SSH. We'll go ahead and save that offending rule. So now I have my HTTPS rule as well as the inbound SSH rule. And this is simulating exactly the thing that we're trying to prevent, that type of configuration drift that can cause us to have some serious security implications. And you can see AWS Config immediately flagged both of those security groups as non-compliant. I have an incoming RDP disabled that is a non-compliant resource, as well as the incoming SSH. I'll go ahead and click on those two non-compliant resources, and we can see that these are two non-compliant EC2 security groups, one ending in 4C8, one ID ends in AE4, 4C8. Then within just a few minutes, the Lambda function executed automatically. You can see the revocation happening in real time right here in these CloudWatch logs. And now look at the final state. These were the rules that were created. I'll go ahead and refresh. The offending RDP rule is gone. I'll do the same with the SSH. It was here. I'll go ahead and refresh the screen. So those dangerous rules are completely gone. The security groups are back to a compliant state, and Config has reevaluated and confirmed it. So from violation to detection to automated remediation, the entire cycle took under 5 minutes with 0 manual intervention. And that's really the difference between reactive security and proactive automation. So the lesson here is that manual compliance reviews are always going to lag behind your actual infrastructure state. And what this demonstrates is how you can automate control enforcement using AWS native services, continuous monitoring with immediate remediation. This entire system, the detection, the remediation, the audit trail, it all deploys with just one CloudFormation template. The code is here on my GitHub if you want to deploy it and test it yourself. Thank you for watching.